So as some of you know, I'm currently reading Shadowslave, and I just want to talk about Gunlook for a moment because he's our introduction to a lot of the themes that we get further development on later on in Shadowslave, like what is freedom worth, giving up and stagnation. It's really the idea that survival isn't enough, and I think that his backstory further validates this idea when you find out that he was this weak person who couldn't survive in the current world that humans had in the Forgotten Shore, and the way he would survive would be by making a pretty crazy and fearless trip into the Black Sea, which further shows his will for survival, until he stumbles across a beast that gives him a transcendent armor after he kind of kills it by accident. But I think what's really cool about this is because after he comes back and he reestablishes this human settlement, he stagnates. He stops there because he thinks that's all he can get. And one thing about Shadowslave is they talk about, one, what is freedom worth? And two, what are you willing to fight for? It also ties into his final words, which I'm paraphrasing here, but you know, in the beginning, even I tried. It ties into kind of his biggest weakness being that he gave up. Even informs Sunny later, not necessarily the situation, but more the context of the theme of being okay with the status quo. There's another thing with, like, you know, propaganda and survival being your only focus and like your drive. Like, it really is a good starting point for a lot of the concepts we talk about later on in Shadowslave. Do I think he's like a super amazing character? Not 100%, but I do think he was really good for the Forgotten Shore.